I see here, we can see the SPY, it is gapping up. So that means the overall market is gapping up. Let us take a look at the QQQ, what it is doing. The same thing with the QQQ. You can see QQQ, it is gapping, 3.51% up. SPY, we have seen it is gapping about 9% up. So that means most of the stocks today, they are gapping up on pre-market. So what I want to do is I'm going to go through my daily list and see those stocks that they are really gapping up. Let us start. Yesterday I was looking at Afgo, and as you can see, it is really gapping up today. It is 4.36%. So I'm going to keep it in a look. But because I'm starting to look at stocks that they're gapping up depending on where the market is going, so I'm going to go through, the list of the stocks that I trade on. Let us look MU, which is microtechnology. You can see microtechnology, it is like gapping up, 9.49%. Now we have about 1.5 hours before the market open. I'm going to keep MU as one of my top priority to look when the market opens. But let me go through other stocks, before I make a decision on the stocks that I'll be looking at. Let me look, let us look at things. Just look at things like Tesla. Yeah, the common stocks that I trade every single day. Those are the things that I'm looking at. We see how they are gapping up. So today I'm expecting, I'll be the stocks that I'll be looking at. The stock there, I'll just be picking the stocks that they're gapping based on what the market is doing. So you can see Tesla, it is 4.5%, so it's not bad. I'm still going to keep it, on the look. Usually I like to open my Google Docs so that I'll be putting down these stocks that they are gapping up, and they have a percentage, gap up depending on what the overall market is doing. Then 30 minutes before the market opens, now I'm going to pick my favorite five stocks depending on how high in terms of percentage they've gapped up and in terms of volume. Those that have big volume, in the pre-market. So I have MU, I have Afgo, then I have Tesla. But I'm going to keep on searching more and more to look for stocks, that I'll be looking at today and that I might trade. Let's go to MSTL. You see MSTL 6.5%, so that is also good. Then you can see what the fuck what the overall market is doing. That is what most of the stocks they are doing. So later on I have to shortlist my list to stocks that they have really gapped up, and also in terms of volume depending on the highest percentage volume that they are trading during pre-market. So AMD, I have a 4.75%. I'm going to come back onto it to see what it's going to do. Let's look at Amazon, 4.14%, not a big one, but it's not bad. Let's look at Nvidia. Damn it. Let's look at Nvidia. Nvidia. It is not bad, 3.61%, but I want to look at stocks that they're really gapping up. A percentage depending on what the full market is doing. Because I've already looked at Tesla, I don't know why I'm looking at it back again. Come on. Going to look at things like Google. It is not a bad stock to keep an eye on. I'm going to look at it. Let's look at Microsoft. 3.31%, not bad. Not going to include it into my list. Let us look at Apple. 2.31%. It's not bad, Then the second thing that guys you have to know is because the market is gapping up and every stock is gapping up, you can't be looking at every stock. You know, as I'm starting to trade, I only have an account that has just $36 in my account. But I don't believe this. I should not start trading because of this. This is my career. I decided to do this, so that is why I'm going all in this. But you have to have a system of every day before the market opens. What I'm going to do. This is what I do. This is what I'd be doing with this $36 account. Even when I'm going to get into those big accounts, it's the same thing that you'd be doing. It is the same system. Just apply it every day. And that is what I'm doing right now. Let us look at Walmart. You see what it's doing. So that is not a big percentage, 1.48%. It is not a big one, so I'm not going to look at Walmart. Let's look at Baba. Let's look at Baba. Do not hate me. Okay. I think I'm going to include, Alibaba in my list. That is a good percentage, 6.79% gapping up. I'm going to include it into my list. Let's look at JPM. JP Morgan. 2.84 percentage. Okay, quick recap guys. So let me show you. So I've just finished shortlisting my list on the stocks that we'll be looking at on the market open. So this is my FIFA Lite top 5 stocks that we'll be looking at. Now, as you can see in my screen, we have Baba, we have Intel, we have Robinhood, we have Tesla, then we have MU. So how do I choose my stocks and how do I decide that these are the stocks that I'll be looking at on the market opens? First of all, I need the stocks that they are really gapping up on a high percentage depending on what the market is doing. So on SPY and QQQ, right now the SPY is 2.3 percentage, the same thing with the QQQ, they're gapping up. So today, the stocks that I've decided to be looking at, I've decided that I'm going to choose my stocks that they're gapping from 4.5% and 4.5% and above. So as you can see on Alibaba, here we have a percentage of 7.04 percentage and above. We have about 19 minutes before the market opens. So I don't think that is going to change. Let us look at Intel. Intel we have 4.8 percentage and above. 4.8 percentage and above. The same thing with Robinhood, 9.1 percentage and above. So you can see that is a really big percentage above. Tesla, let's take a look at Tesla. 5.03 percentage and above. Then Micron Technology of 8.9% and above. 4.5 percentage and above. All these stocks that you have seen, they are gapping 4.5 percentage and above. Then the second thing that I like to consider is, what about the volume? What is the volume that these stocks they are trading with, in the pre-market? Now all these stocks, I like to going at at Nasdaq activity and then search. I'm not going to show you, but I'm going to give you an example with Robinhood. I'm not going to go, the every stock that I'll be looking at, but let me give you an example with Robinhood, the percentage that it is trading with on pre-market. As you can see on Robinhood here, we have a percentage of, we have a volume, pre-market volume of 1.5 million. All these stocks, all, all these stocks that I've chosen, they have a pre-market volume of 1 million and above. So that is what I like doing on my pre-market scanning. Then, although this, whatever I'm about to say, I've started com- including it in my pre-market analysis today, but I'll be educating myself, as the journey goes on. It is looking on the fundamentals, what the companies they are doing, these stocks company they are doing, the news that they might be having, the news that they might, the news that they might impact, today's trading of the stocks. I like looking at the fundamentals. Now I don't understand what the fundamentals impact they might have in the trading on the trading of the days of the stocks, but I believe as I go on with the game, I'll be I'll be understanding more on the fundamentals. I think so many of us when you're starting, we really know to use the technicals, the price action, but sometimes even looking at the fundamentals, they should give you a clue of what the stocks they are doing.